According to my next guest, life after death does exist. Our loved ones who pass on continue to live on, only now in a spiritual sense. As part of our book author series, Debbie Heneghan joins us to talk about her audiobook, Turn Your Pain into Peace. It focuses on how to deal with death in a peaceful, more spiritual manner. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I gotta tell you, death is a topic that most people really don't like to talk about, including myself, okay? So why write a book about it?
It's for that exact reason, Christy, because just the word death makes us all cringe with fear. But the bottom line is, death is going to happen at some point or another in all of our lives. We can't control it, we can't fear it, but it's going to happen, so we need to face it as best we can.
And I can understand that, but you know, there's so much pain and sadness when there's death, and how do we make those emotions easier to accept and handle?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is losing a loved one is never easy to handle. It's very sad, it's heart-wrenching, and the bottom line is we're all gonna have a void in our heart no matter what. But one of the things that you can do to help yourself work through that process is be open with yourself and your feelings. Feel and face and process each of your emotions as they surface. It's so important to do that because as you do that, you're actually working to shift and move that painful energy on. And as you move that forward, you're opening yourself up to more of a healing that allows you to continue forward with life.
And in your 3-hour audiobook, you talk about ways to deal with death. In fact, you provide tips and exercises. Let's talk about some.
Right. So I provide a lot of tips and exercises and other considerations to work through the grieving process, but they're also useful for any challenging experience in life, which is nice. Okay. The first one from a grieving process is to be open and honest with yourself and others about how you're feeling. The second thing is, most important, to feel, face, process, and let out each emotion as it surfaces.
That's important.
If you're sad, cry. If you're angry, find an outlet for that anger. The third one is, please never, never bury your emotions, even though I know we all feel that's what we want to do because it's easier and that pain goes away. You're actually causing yourself more pain in the long run by holding those in. In fact, you can even cause yourself health issues. Sure. So the best thing to do is to let those out. The fourth thing is to accept help from others. If they're willing to lend a shoulder to lean on or to cry on, accept that support because you need it at this time. And the fifth one, which is really important, grieve at your own pace. There's no right or wrong in which way to grieve, and there's no set time frame on when you begin grieving and end. Take the pace that feels right to you.
I love also, you talk so much in this audiobook about ways to cope through death, and you talk about core fundamentals, and you also stress the importance, and I'm going to quote here, reaching out and connecting with the other side. What do you mean by that? What do you mean reaching out and connecting with the other side? Most people would say, come on, you're crazy.
Yeah, right. It does sound a little woo-woo. I agree. And a lot of people do look at me like I have 7 heads whenever I say something like that. But the bottom line is, when our loved ones pass on, the important thing to remember is that they do live on, only now it's in a spiritual sense, as you mentioned in the beginning. They are indeed closer than we think they are. And they are as close as our next thought. They're as close as our heart is to us. So what I mean by that is, sometimes whenever a loved one passes on, it may be as simple as you just feeling their presence here and there throughout the day or at different times in your life. And it's a beautiful spiritual connection that we all have and everybody experiences. And you can leave it at just that, where you feel their presence, you cherish that moment because it's yours, and you maybe felt like an invisible hug at that moment. Or you can take it beyond that, where a lot of people would rather have more signs or more messages or maybe a little bit more comfort or strength to pull from, because we can actually do that with our loved ones on the other side. So it's really all about each individual and feeling comfortable with your, taking what feels comfortable to you.
It's a great audiobook, and I want to share with our viewers also quickly that you have a pocket guide, which is great because you can carry it along. Can you explain what this is?
Yes, so the Pocket Guide covers 10 core fundamentals of helping you deal with, again, any challenging experience in life. There are specific examples in there, of course, on how to deal with the grieving process. But this Pocket Guide gives a high level of each fundamental, as well as at least one tip or exercise that you can follow as you're working to go through some of the things that help you face grieving or different challenges in life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
I really
for being
appreciate
here.
your time.
Thank you.
Great information. The audiobook is called Turn Your Pain into Peace, and if you'd like more information on how to obtain it, go to painintopeace.com.